Welcome back to Black Clover Anime Review, episode number 71. This one I'm reviewing the 121st episode, Three Problems, and the 239th chapter of the manga, Budding of Yggdraasil. Now, I thought this episode would just adapt like one, maybe two chapters. Nope, this one adapted 3 full chapters. And no, it didn't cut anything. It actually added a couple things in. Yeah, it added like 2 things in. A couple small little scenes, made one sequence a little longer. But there's a reason for that. Because 215 is like this chapter is 11 pages long. And 212 and 213 are both 15 pages. Yep, those two are pretty much average length. In the case of 215, it's a pretty short chapter. In the case of this one, when they adapt this one for the episode, it's mostly put spot on. The only minor change, they had a flashback here. Episode starts off basically pretty much how they basically left off last week, with the Wizard King being alive, and him talking to Yami and Vengeance. Yep, he reveals that, yep, he's alive. And, like, basically, of course, this is a scene completely unaltered from the manga. Thank you, Studio Pair, for not altering this scene. Because I know anime studios are known for altering scenes for really no reason. And I at least appreciate that. Now, Studio Parrot has been frequently accused, basically, of not doing a good job with the anime. In my opinion, they have. Because they keep it exactly the way it was presented in the manga with very little change. And keep people, basically, like myself, very happy. Yeah, basically, this whole scene is just basically like William Vengeance basically reconfirming his allegiance to the Wizard King, and the fact that they both might receive punishment for what happened during the previous arc. And then pretty much they have a minor alteration here with seeing, like, you have the Wizard King summons Asta, Mimosa, Noel, and Swell. Now, the slight alteration they make this particular scene is that you don't really see Mimosa from the back. Yeah, the whole episode, you only see her from the front. The entire episode. And, like, she's still in, like, the way she was right after the battle, which is good continuity for the series. And he explains, we have 3 problems. 1, I have lost most of my magic. This page here I'm holding in my hand, that's all I got. And my 2 other problems. 1, the fact this country might be destroyed by the surrounding kingdoms. The Heart, Spade, or the Diamond Kingdom. Yeah, basically with this episode here, the Diamond Kingdom has shown up in the anime before, so not the first time we've seen this particular place. It is the first time we get a chance to see a brief image of the Heart Kingdom and the Spade Kingdom. Don't worry, we're going to go back to Heart Kingdom. We're going to go... The Heart Kingdom is going to be brought up again toward the end of this arc. Yep. And the third problem, Asta will die. And he reveals, and this is still pretty much the same as manga, that reveals Asta's devil is basically referred to, his little curse he's got is referred to as a wig. Yeah, a wig. That's simply referred to as. And he brings it the magical, this is actually a word change from what I saw from the manga. The original translation I saw, they refer to it as the Magical Congress. Here, both in the Viz translation version of the manga, not what the other website does, they refer to it as the Magical Parliament. Which, okay, I get the reason why they changed that, because this whole country is basically based upon medieval England. So, why not call it a parliament instead of a congress? And since it's made up of nobles, it makes more sense that way than being a congress. Which, I gotta say, that particular change I can approve of, because when I was reading, like, man, for a Congress, you only represent, like, the rich people. Congress, basically, in real life, represents the whole country. Doesn't matter if you're rich or basically not rich, they represent the whole area. They're not basically representing themselves, like this group of people are. Yes. And then pretty much, like, right after the scene, like, the Asa be brought for, like, apparently Asa was rumored to be used as a scapegoat of what happened during the recent arc. And pretty much with this, Like, then they cut to, like, basically Magical Nights. Now, this is an extended scene from the manga from chapter, I think it's like 213. Yes, discussing 213. Or you have Magical Knights cleaning up after the events of the previous arc, and we see an additional scene of seeing Gordon, and I think it's Gray, handing out Charmy's food with Asta. And this is another scene that helps sets up basically what happened and was explored in chapter 214. In chapter 14, they opened up basically with Asta and Sora basically already arriving there. Like, when they arrived there was never explained in the actual chapter itself. In the anime, they were actually brought there by a representative for the Magical Parliament, who basically, they kind of tricked them being there, and that's when they slap in the handcuffs right as he was around the building. And as for oh yeah, and there is a slight, I forgot to mention this, the guy who I don't really care for this character, as a matter of fact, I don't think anybody likes this character, Damito, who appears for two major scenes. Appears for this scene in the episode. The first time you see him is with the King of the Clover Kingdom, with Seke, which they take down some anti-magic, the anti-noble faction. And, yeah, and you can tell, basically, that, well, the Wizard King knows this guy's like, about time he got here. Now, there's a slight wording change here. In the manga, he says, "My clothes are dirty." It's like, he asks, like, "Are you alright, my king?" It's like, "I am not, my clothes are dirty." And in the anime, they changed it to, "My clothes are filthy." Okay, that makes more sense to say for a king than saying, "My clothes are dirty." Yeah, that wording change, in my opinion, was actually pretty good. I like that wording change better. That word makes more sense to say for a king than saying, "My clothes are dirty." Yeah. And we see him again at the Magical Congress, and, like, his lines are basically spot on from the manga. Like, he introduced himself in a very grandiose fashion. Also, the main addition here, because this is actually something they actually added to the anime, Seki is at this trial. Because in the manga, he is not there. Yes, this is a change because this, like, seeing Seki at this trial is actually anime original. Also, they did make one cut here, one small little cut. His inner thoughts saying that he's actually tapped out magic. Yeah. In the anime, they don't really, I think they give him some stuff for him here, his inner thoughts, but you see him briefly in the scene, basically, where he's standing just behind the King of the Clover Kingdom. Yeah, I'm surprised they actually added this particular scene, because if you notice in the manga at this portion of the arc, he only made just, like, that appearance he made, I think it was toward the end of chapter 212, 214. That was his only appearance the entire arc. Yeah, that one brief cameo where he basically is revealed, oh yeah, he saved the Wizard King. Okay? And that's the last you see of him. As a matter of fact, he hasn't appeared for quite some time in the manga. It's great, though, they actually added him in here, because unlike another character I really don't care for, this character, I don't have a problem with Sek. I think he's a fun comedic relief character, and I like the fact he's getting some screen time in this episode, even though in the manga he barely got any. And mostly put, like, they do kind of slightly alter the scene where Asa's in the Magical Parliament, where the stuff people says, you actually hear him. The cam focuses on him, or people are saying this stuff, instead of basically the cam focusing on various random people in this Congress. And, like, oh yeah, and Damito, basically his thing is that, oh yeah, like, you have two choices. Either take part in this trial, or we're going to find the Magical Knights who participate in the whole recent events guilty. At least, just saying, it's like, what? Yeah. Yeah. Asta and a bunch of people have proof. Like, okay, here's something this guy does not bother to do. Okay, why not have to call the guy who actually caused all this nonsense first? Call Patry. Yeah, I'm sure he's available because he's actually possessing a body. Yeah. Could call him. Nope. Don't bother. As a matter of fact, Patry himself does not appear in this arc. The other three members, Sally and the other three people, they do appear in this arc. I think they appear toward the very end, a cameo, but that's all you see of the Eye of Midnight Sun, because they're barely active. There's a mention of them during the scene where, when the King of the Clover Kingdom shows up, we first see him in the episode, where it says, yeah, we're going to blame this on the Eye of Midnight Sun, even though they're pretty much gone. Yeah, the whole group has been mostly been thrown in jail at this point. Yeah. And basically, like, Sora basically says don't give him what he wants because he'll twist it to his own personal ends. Because she understands the kind of bullcrap this guy spits out. Yeah, I don't think this is actually based upon the real life stuff basically related to Donald Trump. I mean, some people might accuse this particular scene of ripping off basically of how the press frequently twist the words of President Trump. Yes, people might interpret it as that, but I don't think the writer really cares, and I don't think he actually did. No, I don't think that the writer of the series, Tabita, I don't think he freaking cares. He just did it because he thought it was interesting. I don't think he did just to rip off real life stuff related to President Trump. Okay? I said it. Let's get past that point. So, he decides to bring out somebody who was possessed by an elf. Bring up the adorable Marie. Even Asta's shocked by this. Asta and Swirly. And also, the whole thing of forgot to mention this before when they had the opening scene of basic Asta. Yeah, Mimosa and Noelle, their reaction is spot on. Yeah, they have reacted pretty much the same way they did in the manga. Yeah, there's no additional line there. Yeah. But as for the thing with Marie, yeah, there's a slight change here, not much. Yeah, it's like, okay, they bring her in, like, they mention basically that she's from a fallen family, the brother is an ex-convict, and because, oh yeah, you're evil, about to kill her, almost like a firing squad, and then you see a brief glimpse, like a brief flash, and you see Asta there in his black Asta form. In the manga, it's basically a whirlwind surrounding her, and you see that basically. Now, I think this change actually was good for the manga because it's a good visual effect, in my opinion. And then basically him saying, I don't acknowledge your justice is pretty much spot on what he said in the manga. Yeah, this episode overall was really good. Adaptation-wise, fantastic. The changes, I kind of felt as though were definitely necessary. And really good episode overall. Can't wait for next week's episode. I'm hoping they don't rush this particular arc because, well, they did pretty much have everything that was there. They didn't skip over anything from what I can tell. So, because this arc, I'm worried about this particular arc because it's 14 chapters, and with this episode, they adapted 3 chapters. They might, and this is my personal opinion, because some stuff happens in a particular arc, they might, well, have it where just one episode, and they just humongously expand upon it. Like, there's stuff with Noelle in this particular arc, or with Charlotte. Yeah, she returns particular. She plays a small role in a couple chapters. And I wouldn't be surprised if they expanded upon that from the manga, which I am for that. Yep. But now for the new chapter of the manga. Yep. Budding of Yggdraasil. Yeah, opening part of the chapter looks like, yeah, possibly Yuna dead. With Belle crying over him. Don't worry, he's not dead. Like, there's so much you can do. And then, pretty much, William Vonch's tree basically uses his tree to heal everybody. Yeah. World Tree Recovery Magic. Budding of Yggdraasil, basically the title of the chapter. And heals everybody basically who was near death. Yuno's basically recovered. Along with pretty much anybody who was near death, basically the Golden Dawn. Except people who actually died, like Haimon. Yeah, he's actually a chubby guy from the Royal Knights. Yeah, he's dead. Along with pretty much half the... Yeah, pretty much like... Almost half of the squad was pretty much killed in this particular thing. Of course, Gino basically reacts, basically any person do. Screams top of his lungs, basically mad at seeing this. And then we cut to the leader of the Dark Tribe. We see the female member of the group, like rocks. No boring errands like bringing Arcane Sage back with us. Yeah, and which Arcane Sage looking to find? Yeah, we see her basically following this smoking hot woman who looks very similar to Sally. Yeah, she looks very similar to Sally, but I don't think this is Sally. No, despite the fact I have similar appearance to Sally, this is not Sally. Yeah, I hope that's safe forward. Now, which sage are they after? It's like, oh, humans are rage, fear, destruction. Humans' true nature. As such, this world is too dull for us. Now they're supposed to head out. I look forward to seeing what sort of human you are, Arcane Sage Yami Shikahiro. Wow, look at the Yami. which makes the next chapter make his first appearance post time skip. I'm curious though, what the heck is he going to look like? Because he's one character I've wanted to see post time skip. Like out of a lot of the characters for the series, he's one I haven't seen yet. Because if you look at most of the Black Bulls, at least about half of them have not made appearances yet post time skip. These are the ones I can personally think of have appearances post time skip. Asta, Swirl, Noel, Fenrir, Luck, and Charmy. Basically 6 people. Along with, aside from these 6 people, is also Mimosa, Leo. Yeah, he made a brief cameo appearance in this particular arc. Let's see, who else? There's Captain Rail. Yeah, he made an appearance too. There's Yuno, Klaus, and Bonchance. Yeah, pretty much in the case of Golden Dawn, everybody who appeared prior to this particular thing, yeah, Golden Dawn, pretty much everybody is there. But as for the rest of the squads, like in the case of, let's say, I'm trying to get a good one, the Blue Rose Knights, they have not appeared yet. What the heck are they doing all this stuff? I'm curious to what they're going to do next. Because it looks like, though, this portion, this particular arc is wrapped up. Yeah, because that's what it looks like to me. Yeah. Though it didn't last very long. It only lasted for a few chapters. They might, what I can tell, look like they're going to focus on Yami next chapter, which I'm looking forward to that. Yep. So, what rank do you give this chapter? I give this chapter roughly a 10 out of 10. Why? Because Yami's going to appear in next chapter. Yeah. That's the only reason why. Plus, this is a really damn good chapter. And such an emotional chapter, seeing half of the Golden Dawn die. If you look at like all the squads, the Golden Dawn is by far one of the more larger squads of the entire series. Because of how sheer size of its members. The only squad I can think of that's not really made physical appearance that much in the series is the Silver Eagles. Yeah. They're one squad that has not really appeared very much in the series. The Blue Rose Knights, they actually appeared fully for like one chapter. But yeah, it's mostly made up of women. Most of the series, it was just Charlotte and Sol. And eventually they show up the rest of the Blue Rose Knights, like the whole team. And this was actually partway into the previous arc. And we at least got a chance to see them. But like, if you look at all the rest of the squads in the series, the other ones I can think of, you don't see the whole group, so like you don't see very much of them, is basically Aqua Deer, Silver Eagles, and the Purple August, along with the Praying Mantis. Those 4 squads, we haven't really delved into exactly like what they are like, or at least who the members are that much. I mean, Purple August, you see very little of them. I think Praying Mantises, you see maybe 2 members. You see the Captain, Jack the Ripper, and Seki. That's pretty much it. Yep. But otherwise, though, that's really it for this particular review. Not much else to say, okay? So, yeah. That's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for tomorrow for our review, hopefully for Mermaid Saga and 7 Deadly Sins. Yep. But do next review. Bye.